Hey, what is going on, guys? Danny here, and in this video I want to do a little experiment that involved taking a look at this fan, this cooling fan, which is actually a PCI slot fan that pretty much it's a 2-slot PCI fan that sits in one of your two PCI slots and use it to cool things like your graphics card. So I'll give you a little background about this. I was actually digging through an old parts bin, and I was looking for a SATA cable, and then I came across this, and I completely forgot that I actually even bought something like this. And this is actually the TMG SL1 by Thermaltake. It's an 80mm PCI fan. It's in a blower design, so I believe it takes air from here, and then it blows it out through the back, which I think is a pretty good design concept for allowing you to cool your graphics card and taking out heat out of your system, because with a lot of graphics card designs that aren't referenced, they have what they do is their fans dissipate heat, and then it pretty much throws out heat into your system. So this, I believe, if it works what it's intended to do, it'll suck out that hot air and throw it out the back of the system, so it won't allow your other components to get hot from the heat that's being dissipated from your graphics card. So I believe this fan can rotate or has a speed of 1650 RPM, so I think 10.5 CFM, and I believe it was rated at 16 A-weighted decibels. And it also has blue LEDs, so it lights up, but I'm not sure how bright exactly they are. But the main purpose of this is to see how much of a difference this will make in our temperature. So I'm actually going to be installing this beside my R9 390. I have the MSI version, and under load with the overclocks that I've set on that card, which is 1150 to the core clock, and 1700 to the memory clock. And under load, I noticed that the card can get all the way up to 82, 83 degrees sometimes, which is quite hot. So I was wondering what are some ways I could lower that temperature. So I'm gonna put this card beside the R9 390, and I'm gonna be doing some tests, seeing if it actually makes a difference to the temperature, or if it doesn't make a difference at all. So I'm actually gonna be doing tests without this card installed. Going to be showing you what temperature the card reaches with a few benchmarks. I'll probably be doing Furmark, Unity Heaven, maybe 3D Mark Firestrike, and then we'll put the card in, we'll do the tests, and then we'll see what results we get. So here I am running Furmark, doing a stress test of the card, and it seems to have capped out at about 94 degrees Celsius. So I've been running this for about 10 minutes now. Here's Afterburner, and I have hardware monitor right here. So let's go ahead and put on the PCI East slot fan and see if it helps improve our temperature. So here I've gone ahead and opened up the side panel, and here's the inside of my PC. I'm going to be installing the slot fan, the PCI East slot fan, right beside the MSI R9 390 graphics card. I won't be able to install it right next to it in the slot right over, since this card does take 2.5 slots because of its cooler right here. Alright, so here I've got the fan installed right next to the card. So again, the card's gonna dissipate heat with its fans from here, and then this card should suck in the air and then blow it out through the back of the system. So let's test this out. Alright guys, here I have the card running, and the fan as well right there. And here we have our stress test Furmark, and the result you guys have been waiting for. 94 degrees Celsius, so nothing has changed in terms of like the max temperature the card will reach. But what I did notice though, was that it took the temperature to rise up a bit slower than what I had before. Before it hit 94 degrees Celsius quicker than without the PCI slot fan. So it did somewhat help manage the temperatures, I guess. But in terms of actually not letting the card get to this point, it didn't prevent that. Also, taking a look at our CPU temperature, we can see that the max that it hit was 54 degrees Celsius. So the last time I ran the test, it actually hit about 59 or 60 degrees Celsius, I believe. So what the card is actually doing is that it's actually helping the heat that's being dissipated from the card and throwing it back out of the system instead of letting it stay inside the system, affecting other components. So it's helping in that regard quite a bit. So I'm just about finishing one run through of Unigine Heaven Benchmark. And the last time I ran the benchmark, the card had actually reached a max temperature of about 80-81 degrees Celsius, but in this run through, the card actually hasn't gone to 80 degrees, 81 degrees as quick. It's rising slowly, but the card seems to help combat the extra heat that's being dissipated. And again, the CPU temperature is also being kept low as well, lower than last time. So the Thermaltake SL1 TMG PCI slot fan didn't exactly help in regards to what we wanted it to do. The graphics card still reached that maximum temperature that we wanted it to prevent it from doing, but what it did help was basically help regulate the temperature, and it allowed it to maintain it better. So the card didn't reach it as fast as it did before. And the other thing that it also helped and was beneficial in was throwing out the extra heat that was being dissipated from the card and throwing it back out of the system. So what that helped in was allowing the overall temperature of all the other components in the system from being higher. So what does this mean? It basically means that the stock coolers that vendors such as Sapphire, MSI, Gigabyte, EVGA, etc. use on their graphics cards are quite efficient and good at what they're intended to use or are meant for. That being said, I'm not telling you to not have any case fans or anything like that in your system. You obviously want that to help regulate airflow, otherwise that will affect your temperatures. Sure, if you significantly want to see some difference in your GPU temperature, you can always go get an AIO liquid cooling kit or use a custom water loop. That will definitely help your temperature. But I mean, if you don't have access or can't get one of those cooling solutions, you don't necessarily have to worry. Well guys, that pretty much concludes my little experiment here. If you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative, leave a thumbs up. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know if you guys want me to try anything else. And also, if you want to see more videos like this, then hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching guys, and as always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.